The paper we're diving into today is My Writings, Rooted in Personal Experience, Not in Hearsay, by Suresh Soni. I was struck right away by that title. It's kind of bold, right? It almost reads like a manifesto for how he approaches writing. And honestly, even just that had me thinking about the difference between knowledge you live and knowledge you just, pick up from other people secondhand.
Yeah, and it's not something you see a lot in academic or philosophical writing, is it? Most of the time, people are referencing other people, building on big traditions, trying to seem, well-read or authoritative. But Sony's whole approach is like, no, this is what I lived. This is what actually happened to me. And that's what he sets out to explore, how personal experience, not just hearsay, forms the basis for deeper insight.
Exactly. And I think the core question Sony is poking at here is, can deeply personal experience offer us truth, or at least something more authentic than all that borrowed, bookish knowledge? Which, for me, kind of flips a lot of academic assumptions on their head. It's significant, honestly, because it pushes us to ask, is truth really universal? Or is it always a little bit individual?
Right, and his method is super straightforward. He basically lays out his journey through several books he's written, all of which revolve around moments, real events, family, meditation, even just, sitting in quiet and feeling something. He's not interested in convincing anyone. He's sharing, not preaching. That's such a vulnerable way to write.
Yeah, and it's kind of refreshing. He opens with this idea that books springing from lived life might never be complete, but at least they have a core of lived truth. He's careful to, avoid authority. He doesn't want to set himself up as a guru or an expert, just someone with a path. I was intrigued by the sections about religion, where he says that religion should be more about cosmic consciousness than about rigid doctrine.
That part stood out to me too. He's essentially re-examining the role of religion in modern life. Sony describes how, through reading and personal reflection, he came to see that religions can lose their main purpose if they turn into dogma. His argument is, if religion breeds love and goodness, great, but when it turns into division, maybe it's lost its way.
Which feels pretty relevant given, all the conflict in the world. It made me reflect personally on how much inherited wisdom we take in without interrogating where it comes from. Sony's take is that spirituality should transcend boundaries, and that's, sort of radical in its gentleness.
And the personal dimension comes through again in his book about his brother, a monk who gambled on the game of life. It's all about watching someone close step away from the world to seek, a higher truth. Sony witnessed both the search for meaning and the problems, like people faking spirituality for gain. He never gives simple answers. He just asks, can we really separate spiritual growth from our families and responsibilities?
Yeah, that's a complex question, and he doesn't wrap it up neatly. The same goes for the book on souls. I loved that, after his own mysterious experience with his father, he invited reflections from all kinds of people. Scientists, poets, spiritual teachers. Instead of arguing for or against the soul, he just lets the question live. It's kind of humbling.
I like that approach, just opening the floor and admitting maybe the mystery is the answer. Oh, and a quick digression. Didn't it remind you of those family dinners where one relative brings up a big question and everyone chimes in, but nobody lands anywhere? Just a swirl of ideas and stories?
Ha! Totally. Exactly like that. And honestly, that makes his trilogy on life and living feel inviting, not intimidating. He asks, who are we? And what is the purpose of life? But doesn't try to close the book on them. Everything for Sony is a stepping stone, not a summit.
So I think what listeners can take away is, you don't have to wait for some official stamp of approval to trust your lived experience. Academic research is useful, but it's also just one lens. Your insights, your life, can be valid starting points.
Absolutely.